Come out of the womb and you're just already doing legs and everything. Yeah? How about you?
I've been dancing since I was 2 years old, so 7
years. That's incredible. That's really cool. What about the rest of you guys?
I've been dancing for 5 years. So I started when I was 8, but before I was a gymnast, so.
Oh.
Yeah.
Cool. So what made you go to dance then?
I think it was just like all like the costumes, and I think it like looked really fun. But yeah. And like I think like expressing yourself through dancing, and I think that like made me like want to like try do like different things. Yeah. And I think that it's like in dancing, some people like get judged a lot, but I think just be you and like don't worry about what other people are saying, because like you're special for your own reasons.
Oh, that's so good. Inspired. So yeah, you said that you love dance because you can express yourself through it. What are your guys' favorite parts of dance? Because I know I love dance because it's just the best thing in the world. Yeah.
I love dance because like when you just like get on the stage, you can just be yourself and have fun. You don't have to like, oh, I have to do this right, I have to do this right. You can just go and like be yourself.
Yeah. Has there ever been a time that you didn't feel like you could be yourself, where you were doubting yourself?
Yeah.
Yeah. When was that? When was like the hardest part of your dance life so far?
It's usually at like conventions where like all the studios come together and everybody's kind of like death staring everyone because we're all competing against each other.
Yeah.
And it's just like everybody's kind of trying to be like the same person, and they're like, oh, my leg has to get that high. But I feel like it's just like we all be ourselves and just come together as a family and just have fun. Yeah. That's what dance is about.
Yeah, community and togetherness. I totally get that. I've definitely noticed that the more I've been dancing. It was so fun at first, and I was just having the best time, and I would go on stage and just have fun. And I think that's also a big part of being younger. You don't know so much about the competition that's behind dance, and then you get older and you're more aware of it. And it can really, I think that's where a lot of dancers kind of fall away from it, is because they're constantly thinking about, oh no, that person's better than me, or I'm not as good, I'm doubting myself now, and they get insecure. And so I think always having a community, and you guys seem to be a great community. That's why I love dancing here in Utah, because you guys are so welcoming and so nice and so fun to be around. Yeah. And you've been in this dance community way longer than I have.
Like one thing I've learned is if you want to learn and grow as a dancer, it's better to learn and grow in a community that supports you than a community that is your competition. So growing up, I feel like I was a pretty competitive person. Like I always like, oh, I want to win, and oh, I want to get first overall. I'm like, I want to be a national champion, la-di-da-di-da. But I was dancing for the wrong reasons. I wasn't dancing for myself. I was dancing for recognition. And the one thing that taught me that was just being in a community that really supported me whenever I was failing or even when I was succeeding. So I think that's important growing up, especially growing up, that you're always supportive of your peers when they're dancing and giving them that respect.
Okay, I have a question.
Yes.
So once like you're at a convention, and like after like we've been on the show, I feel like there's been like expectations, and like during classes you're like, oh my gosh, like I have to hit it perfectly, or like people will start judging. So like how do you like stay away from like all the people like having expectations?
That is so good. That's so good. Okay, so growing up as a dancer, I always looked up to my like dance idols, because I would go to Millennium in LA and I would see all of these amazing dancers that are like YouTube famous, and so if they messed up, I was like, oh my gosh, they're human. What? And that's what it is. We're all human. And so I really had to get over that once I started acting, and I got on the show, which I was so blessed to be a part of. And so I would still go to dance class because I wanted to dance, but other people would recognize me and expect me to be everything they wanted me to be. And so then I started dancing for them, and you were saying this too, you're not supposed to dance for anybody but yourself. No other reasons, just to have fun. So I think allowing yourself to mess up. I mess up all the time. You guys saw me probably mess up a bajillion times a day, and it was like 2 hours. But yeah, just remember that we're all human, and that nobody is perfect, and that you don't have to be either.
And especially with people watching you, you have to own who you are. like you made those shows that you were on for a reason because of who you are. So in class, never forget that. Whenever you're like doubting yourself if you're ever doubting yourself, you have to be like, you know what, I'm here for a reason. I have this recognition for a reason. I'm just gonna own it, and I'm gonna let people be inspired. And even if you mess up, it's gonna show people it's okay to mess up.
Yeah. Such a good one. That was good.
Why do you guys love dancing and acting and all like the?
Well, that's hard. I was kind of like the child that didn't do anything, which is so weird. Like most people get into this and they're 2 years old and the first word that they say is like, oh, like they're amazing. It's like they just are constantly doing that from the beginning. But for me, I was just kind of the child that would do video stars and act like I had a YouTube channel. And so I was kind of like in my own world, and I never really had, I guess, something that I was good at. I never had my thing. And then I found dance and I was like, whoa, that's it. And then I found acting, I was like, oh, that's it too, I like that. And then I found singing, I was like, I really like this as well. So I think I've always had that underlying love for performing and like just expressing myself, and I never knew how to until it was with dance and singing and acting. And so I think I've just always wanted a way to express myself like that, and that definitely is given to me because of dancing, acting, and singing.
Yeah, I mean, I just grew up dancing, and the reason why I danced was because of my sister. I was always so close to her, so whenever she started to dance, I was like, I want to dance too. And then I just grew a love for it. It's just a great way to express yourself, and it's a great way to find happiness in yourself too. If you're ever struggling or anything, it's just good to find a studio and dance by yourself, because it really helps like solve like internal problems too. And it's a great sense of community too. Like the dance community is so great.
I have a question for the parents. Yeah? So you all have been with your lovely children from the second that they were into this earth. What are things that you have done to support them? Because of course they have their doubts, and it's hard for them to constantly be telling themselves that they can do it all. They have to have some type of external force that can support them. What have you guys felt like is the best thing that you've done? Just for other parents out there that might not know how to support their children while they're doing this.
I have the thought that it doesn't matter where you are on your journey, just as long it matters the direction that you're facing. And so as long as you're moving forward, it doesn't matter if you're the best or the worst. And you're going to kind of go through stages, depending on what team you're at and what skills you're learning. And so just a constant improvement is the most important thing.
Yeah. Oh, that's so good.
I think when it comes to competing, I always tell my girls that they just need to go out and do their best, and they can't. Dance is a subjective sport when it comes to competition, and so you don't have any control over what the judges are thinking or what they're looking for that day, or even an audition. You don't always have control over it, but you just have to go out and do your best. And I'm always just like, if you're not having fun, then it's not worth doing. So just make sure every time you're on the stage or competing on the ball or the floor, you're having fun and you're enjoying the process and not just always worried about the result. Because when something's subjective, when you're being judged subjectively, you're not always going to win, and you're not always going to be the best, and that's okay. As long as you're progressing and having fun, that's the most important thing.
So great. I'm so inspired right now. I think parents are the best. I've definitely been so blessed to have amazing parents that have supported me through all of this, and I would not 100% not be able to do this without them. So always remember that they are your biggest supporters, and that you always will need them by your side. Because a lot of kids, when they grow up, they're like, I don't need you, I'm grown. But no, you are always with your parents because they've been with you from the second you've been into the world. So, yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching another episode. I hope you learned just a little bit more about having fun with dance and not always taking it so seriously. We had an amazing time.
Next week we have a special guest, or should I say special guests.
Yes.
We will be bopping to the top, we will be soaring and flying, and we will be all in this together.
Bye.